Hearing none, I call the General Government Public Safety Committee to order. I know attendance has already been taken. Any comments from citizens?
I had no emails either.
Well, then moving on, public safety. Fire department, activity reports in the packet?
Yeah, I think I have to leave for a minute. I'd like to get a call.
Flashlights on.
Okay. I don't know where everybody is.
So,
That's what we do here.
That was perfect timing.
They set that up.
I've seen somebody peeking through the window.
Yeah.
Outside, yeah.
so one thing I would like to talk to you all about, talked to Denny about this earlier, and we talked quite a bit back and forth last week, is about the fireworks. We had discussed that under our new insurance that maybe we weren't going to be able to shoot the fireworks off ourselves, but I had our MIRMA rep look over the certificate of insurance. So for years we've purchased separate insurance for our fireworks show. It's a separate liability policy. So I don't know if, I would imagine that MOPR probably didn't cover us under liability either, and that's why we purchased a separate policy. So we've done it for many years. It's not anything new, and so our firefighters can still set off the display. So I talked to Denny, and originally they were, thrilled about the fact that they would get to watch the fireworks, but then I believe that they are also, they're okay with setting off the display. So I got his okay today, and we are ready to move forward with, as we have in the past, with our guys shooting off the fireworks and purchasing that additional liability insurance policy. If that is the route we want to go. So maybe next year we can think about changing that up. If we want to hire a company to do it, we can have an RFP ready to go if we want to do that in the future. Or this company that we've purchased fireworks from before, so that they can also hire our firefighters to set off the display. As long as there's, as long as we have somebody that's certified. So, so we have several different options moving forward, but for this year it
It's
would
not
be
at
just.
risk. We're not at risk this year, right?
No. And so we would still have it on July 4th. And that's another thing we can think about, just keep in the back of your minds, if we want to look at having it on the weekend before, the weekend of, moving it off of the 4th, so that our firefighters, if they are the ones setting it off, they can still have time with their families too. We can do a poll, we can do a citizen poll to see if we want to move it, if it makes a difference. So a lot of different things that we can do there, but for this year, it will be business as usual.
And it'd probably be hard to find somebody to do it anyways at this late in the game.
Yes.
So if we're paying for that extra insurance, it might be worth for next year getting a quote and seeing what it would be.
The question I have is, Rogers is he pyro technically certified or not?
Mm-hmm.
So his certification works for us to use for the fire
Yes.
department.
You just gotta get the insurance, right?
Yes.
That'd be and he wants to do it. He would do it.
Oh, Denny's told me that if he has enough that will do it. I don't know who is willing to do it.
That'd be the way to
How many
go.
towns or anybody probably, I just don't know what it costs to, I mean, how long it takes to get certified is a question. Maybe we should check in on that too.
It's one day.
It's a one-day certification?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it surely can't be that expensive, so it'd be worth us to certify one or two people potentially, that in case somebody's sick or couldn't be there, and we'd have a couple of people maybe, on the roster that could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had somebody today was worried that they were gonna catch flack in case we didn't have it, and I said, if you think you're gonna get flack, be 10 times that for us at City Hall here, and the mayor and the city administrator, and so, it was never our intent to let that fall through, and so I'm glad she was able to set up here, so.
Moving on, police department, there's an activity report packet. Chief, you want to put anything?
I got a call, actually.
You gotta
Okay,
get going.
I do too.
As of tomorrow, we'll have 2 openings, but hopefully as of tomorrow, I'll also have another, experienced police officer put it in, so that'll leave me with 1 So we'll see, that's the ongoing game. Our speed trailer is, we got our part back from the company, so that should start seeing that again. We can make sure everything works correctly, and so we'll get that up and going. But other than that, that's it.
Question, I have a question for you. It's been brought to my attention by a couple of folks. Out here, as you come in before you get the overpass and come in, there's a bunch of cars that park there like a parking lot along the shoulder of the road.
On Singleton,
On the house out there.
on the very corner there,
Yeah.
I've seen those there.
Well, I've seen 5 there the other day, and other people, somebody brought it to my attention, so that's why I'm mentioning it. Should they be using it as a parking spot, if that's what they're doing?
Well, we'd have to see what the ordinance says,
Well, I think we probably
we
should check it.
have people parking on the roadway all over Central, so if
Yeah,
it's
but
not,
that's-
if it's not per se illegal to them, I don't know what the verbiage is.
Yeah, I think we'll check into that, Heather, just to see, because it just, you wander over much, you're gonna get into the car. You only be on the road much to get one of their cars, if somebody's out there driving. But that's what, I've had 3 or 4 people mention it.
Mhm.
I didn't know how it was, so thank you. I have no reclamation
Oh.
yeah. This is time?
Yes?
Okay, then we'll get, I want, literally, a proclamation, and I want a little bit less lengthy as the other one, so get up here and assume the petition.
You can't add
You'll have to hold on to your call here in a minute, for a second. This is proclamation of the City of Centralia, the Chris Cox Mayor proclamation to recognize National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. Whereas emergencies may occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services. And whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our police officers, firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from the citizens' home, telephone, the city police department dispatch, and the communication center. And whereas the public safety telecommunications are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety telecommunications communicators are the single vital link of our police officers and firefighters by monitoring their activity by radio, providing them information and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunicators of the City of Centralia have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and the treatment of patients. And whereas Centralia's dispatchers have exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their jobs in the past year. Now, therefore, I, Chris Cox, Mayor of the City of Centralia, Missouri, do hereby proclaim the week of April 10th through the 16th of 2022 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our city and citizens safe. Thank you, sir.
Any other public safety?
So under protective inspection, we budgeted $7,500 a year. We did go a little bit over budget last year just because we had some things linger from the previous year onto the next year. So we are, we've already allocated for demolition and reconstruction, 6,000 of our $7,500. So we have 1 demolition left that we can fund already this year. So they were waiting to sign the papers until April 1. And so people are using the program. We do have a sidewalk program I'd like to use too, so try to get some information out about that.
Great.
Would we consider allocating more money, or would we have the ability to allocate more money if we got more applicants in?
If you'd like to.
Because it's a benefit, if people are going to
Sure.
do it.
Agreed. If people are wanting to take, they're taking that structure that's
Yeah.
on the side, they would.
Maybe it's on a case-by-case basis or something, once we hit our threshold.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh,
Just talking about
just a
case by
thought.
case.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think it's a great incentive.
Because we can look at, as we go through the year, if we're getting tight on budget, and we just, the 1,500, you know,
And
it's tough right at that
With
point.
with the demolition and reconstruction, the reconstruction can take up to 18 months, so we may not actually spend that money this fiscal year. It may be allocated for next year, so we could potentially add some extra in. So I will let you all know if that comes about.
Moving under general government and finance, bills over $1,250. Any questions on that? Pretty short list.
What needed a motor replacement?
That was the 2012 Dodge Charger that was,
Is it still sitting over there, I seen it?
do you have the Charger back? Well,
Yes, sorry, I was reading the proclamation. Yeah, we have it back, yes.
we tried to determine if it was worth fixing or replacing,
So, I mean,
replacing it ended up being a little more expensive.
yeah, with saying that, we put a brand new crate motor back into it, which has a 3-year, 100,000-mile warranty on it, so even though the mileage says 76 on it, we can still, that car should, if we keep it maintained, be good for a while, for at least the 3 years on the mechanical side of it. So, I mean, I thought it was smart to try to keep it around for that price anyway.
With the cost of the newer cars, I mean, that's reasonable.
Now, I will say this, I mean, there are a few things like, we need to have a couple of cars that have cages on them. We really don't have that. So we're basically transporting people like a trooper does in the front seat of a car, so that's a no-go for me. So that we could look at doing some of that too.
Get any of the present ones we have, you fit
Oh,
it
yeah,
with the
yeah,
cage?
we could.
What's the cage cost?
That's a great question. Probably $1.5 million. No, good one. But I don't know, I have to do some checking.
with that.
And I may be able to, you know, call around to Columbia, they may have some that we could buy cheaper than that from them, maybe. I don't know, I just have to do some checking.
Do we have annual payment?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, we need to.
So we need to check into it.
The new cars don't have cages in them? The SUVs?
The Durangos?
Yeah.
No.
I got one dog crate if you need it.
A what?
Large dog crate?
I got 2 of those, so
Okay.
we could look at getting a canine for those. No? Okay.
All right, moving on to economic development.
We did not receive a report this month.
Park board, agenda and minutes. Any questions or comments? The mower bid.
This is also a budgeted item. It is in the Sourcewell pricing, but Earl is ready to move forward with this purchase, so we need to make sure you all are aware, and it'll be on the agenda for next Monday night.
Library board, agenda and minutes. Packet. Any questions or comments?
I have a proclamation that I'll deliver to them over at, to Earl over at the
Oh, okay,
rec center.
okay.
His one's here, if you'll do it.
The floor is yours now.
Are you kidding me? Sounds like you're ready to read it. You want to read it? A chapter?
You would not be able to understand it, though.
All right, okay. All right. I don't know why you deserve that.
Cemetery advisory.
So I'm gonna read the proclamation.
Thanks, Mike.
Chris Dodge Mayor proclamation to recognize National Park Week, whereas our national, state, and local parks embody the magnificence and splendor of our great nation, and whereas during National Park Week, we pay tribute to the tranquility and solace that our parks provide, and applaud the men and women who work tirelessly to preserve our heritage for us and future generations of Americans. And whereas the excellence of our parks and landmarks is a true reflection of our great community, And whereas it is important to recognize the importance of our local park systems, and whereas our parks belong to each of us, and they are natural places to learn, exercise, volunteer, spend time with family and friends, and enjoy the magnificent beauty of our great land. And whereas during National Park Week and throughout the year, Centralians of all ages can pledge to help maintain and enhance our local parks for future generations to come. Now therefore, I, Chris Cox, Mayor of the City of Centralia, Missouri, do hereby proclaim this week of April 17th through the 23rd, 2022 as National Park Week, and invite the citizens of Centralia to join me in celebrating our parks by visiting these wonderful places, discovering all they have to offer, and becoming active participants in our park conservation. Thank you.
We're getting better.
That was the shortest one.
Mayor, I did quite catch that.
I want to give you a look at it, man, you know.
Ad hoc committee for on-call engineering.
We are ready to move forward with an RFQ for engineering. We've talked about this. And, I would like for, if at all possible, the mayor to appoint an ad hoc committee for the selection process. And we could do that at next Monday's meeting, or we can wait till the May meeting. It's fine, because we won't have the submissions until May anyway. So it's whatever you all would like to do. So I would just need to know the names of those people so that we can have it on the agenda whenever we're ready to do that. I did speak to Sean Carrico, and he said he would be willing to be on that committee.
Okay. Other general government, updating chapter 22 ordinance.
So this just kind of cleans up some language in the city code to match what we've already adopted in 2021, in March of 2021, in the collective bargaining agreement. These are things that we've already approved. It just cleans things up a little bit. And then the only thing new in this was section H. And right now, the code says that vacation time has to be used in 8-hour increments, and not any fraction thereof. And I cannot tell you a time since I've worked here in the last almost 18 years that has been enforced. So I would like to clean it up and say 8-hour basis whenever possible, however, increments as small as 30 minutes, or even, I even think that we use 15 minutes. We can go down to a quarter of an hour. But I don't want to be too picky. I just would like it to match what we're currently doing.
Sure.
I mean, how painful is that to manage?
Not at all.
With our system, it's no big deal, right?
No.
So I mean,
Most places I know, it's,
Half a day or full day, where I've always had.
We've always done an hour.
Yeah, we do hours.
We just don't do unpaid time, so if somebody has, they need to make up that time, we take it out of vacation.
right.
So,
Do we have a policy against unpaid time?
I believe we do, but I would have to find that.
So that's something that could be reasonable if it's a small amount.
Have to use vacation, sick leave before we get to that point, and then it's the last resort.
Yeah, I think we want to make sure we
I
clear.
think it says that you
Let's
can't
clear-
have unpaid time unless you have written approval.
Yeah, you know, I can't for so much time. but-
Yeah, I mean, because somebody may not want to use their vacation and they're going to be short 1 hour and you can take it unpaid. I mean, I've had people do that as a manager before. And it's because they have their vacation planned and they only have so much of it.
Mhm.
Some of our guys have a lot of vacation, our teams.
We're gonna be looking at our code this year, so whenever I can find that, and maybe that may be something that we change, moving forward, but, anyway, I just want to mention.
Do you want to talk about the tablet?
Oh, yes. So this would be, a new policy that we could implement. I have seen other cities implement this, is where they do a cost share with, the newly elected alderman and the alderman, where the city pays for half of the tablet and then the, alderman pays for the other half. So essentially, after you serve your 2-year term, it's yours to take with you. So instead of leaving them here, you could take them with you. And so David had an example of one over here. They're pretty lightweight. They're really good size. And so we would outfit it with the tablet and a charger and a case. And then we think all-in cost would be under $300. So it would be $150 from the city and $150 from the alderman. If that's a policy that you all are interested in moving forward with, we could definitely look at that, and we get them outfitted, and we would just probably have an agreement, sign an agreement, and move forward with that.
Well, the other benefit of taking it with you is you become familiar with the platform too. You can navigate around it and stuff like that, rather than having to come in and have the agenda up on the screen and all you're doing is flipping pages, but you can actually use it for a real device.
Right, exactly.
Now, this is Wi-Fi
And you
only
could-
though, this is not cell service.
Right.
With it.
So you would just have to have Wi-Fi to be able to access it, but you could have your own, and, you know, we do encourage aldermen to set up their own email, maybe in a separate Gmail, and then you can have that on the tablet, so that way it's all of your stuff all in one. It's just kind of,
It would be good.
Because of
yeah.
It would be
And, you know,
very
these
good.
don't work all of the
Oh,
time.
yeah, this side doesn't.
Yeah, this side doesn't work,
Mine
so,
doesn't.
I
Yeah,
don't even try them on anymore.
when are we gonna make that decision?
I mean, if you all are interested in that, I could have a policy ready for Monday.
I'm good with it.
And then that way we can move forward, and if anybody is, and if you don't want to, you don't have to. Like, if you would prefer to use your own device, you already have that, that's not a problem either. It's really, I would say it would be voluntary if you want to enter into that
I think it's a
agreement.
great idea,
So
but
if two people want it, we still can do it?
I would say so.
Yeah.
why not? I mean,
Yeah.
sure, but
Well,
I
that's a
think
good
the key
deal.
thing is though, because of discovery and things like that, being there would be some city business on there at the end of the term when somebody's leaving, we would have to have some sort of protocol in place to,
Well,
Just do like a G drive or something like that. I know that's what the school does, where they have one drive for.
perfect, that's
And
right,
then once you get out of that network or whatever, then you can't.
get back in it.
Yeah.
You can be locked out by the administrator.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the only thing, yeah.
I'm just saying,
It
I-
says, well, okay, but what's the issue now is, you know, David and I use our own devices and have, and we get email. Most of the stuff we get is public record, but we do get confidential emails.
our email's discoverable already.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So us publishing the fact that
So
we're
it's
using.
probably not an issue.
just want that ahead of it.
Sure, well,
Yeah.
have it thought through.
Yeah, I think it's great, great.
I'm,
idea.
I'm in favor of it, yeah.
Okay.
Any as may arise.
Did you all go out and eat?
Yeah.
Fire chief, is he still eating?
He's on his way.
I'm not entertaining.
Oh, so he's on the way?
Do you want to wait for him?
Yeah, he's on his way. They gotta go park the fire truck.
How come you're back?
Committee
Yeah, they didn't
chairman.
have to park the fire truck.
You jump off the back of it, going back?
No, I drove out there and it came back here.
I take it it wasn't a serious call, right?
Call.
It was a call, that's either, I think there's some trickery going on here. It's in my meeting, but I'm
We're
telling you,
gonna have an investigation.
I guess you missed 3 proclamations, I guess I can't read it.
I'm leaving. Debbie, we need to leave right now.
I can get this
You
later.
really missed the
Like
last
a
one.
couple grand for partition. And that's just some real preliminary hard number.
What'd you say?
I said, just look it up real quick, a partition about $2,000-ish.
Can we allocate some ARPA funds for this? Can we allocate some ARPA funds for the police department?
Maybe, I don't know, we probably could, yeah.
We at least leaned out a couple vehicles that
And
have.
you know, I'm thinking that we may have one of them may have one in it, I'd have to look, but, yeah,
We need at least a couple.
I agree.
That's a major safety issue.
Yeah. It is.
Good.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, we stand adjourned.